Love music. Live sport. Talking football with Bill Young, Hugh Burns and Paul Hegarty on RockSport Radio.
Okay, it's the final one of the week. We're talking football. We're broadcasting live on DAB digital radio across central Scotland. You can also listen to us at rocksportradio.co.uk. You can listen on your smartphone using the TuneIn app and the Radiogram app. You can watch the show live, as you can always do, Monday to Friday. The reason that you can do that is because we have a video stream on Facebook, on Twitter, on Periscope. Now, I've had a few tweets over the last few days saying, can you take any calls on the show? Well, yes, we can take calls on the show. All we need for you is to ring if you want to. 0333 9000 442. That's the number. 0333 9000 442. We'll happily take your calls. Most of you like to tweet, though, at RockSport DAB, and that's where we get most of our correspondence, and you're more than welcome again to get in touch with us via that Twitter feed. Now, a busy programme tonight. Paul Hegarty will join us at 6:30, and we'll look ahead to the Betfred Cup. And my wee pal who's been, well, you've been pining, haven't you? You've been pining, tell the truth.
Too far. Lindsay Herring, yeah, a more than capable replacement. Very well done, Lindsay Herring, when you were in the
absolutely.
The island of...
I was in Porto Santo.
It's
funny, I was telling the other night, it might have been Ali Graham, or it might have been Jerry. I'm sitting at breakfast one morning, and I'm just minding my own business. You know, when you're in these places, you're eating your breakfast, and you're thinking to yourself,
"You're just a people watcher."
You know,
people.
But here's the strange thing: there's a wee guy. He must have been about 10, sat at the table behind me, and he's eating his breakfast quite happily with his mother and father and the rest of the family. And all of a sudden, I thought, what? Sitting wearing a pair of shorts, football shorts, and it's got the Falkirk badge on them.
Honestly?
Aye, God is my witness.
That's amazing.
And I thought to myself, I've gone 2,000 miles to see somebody that's a Falkirk supporter sitting beside me. But it was good.
You enjoyed it? Full board?
Thoroughly, all-inclusive.
All-inclusive.
Super all-inclusive. It was a platinum package, my friend.
I can see your back nice and trim.
Well, actually, I have lost weight because I decided, and I'm going to be honest, I was eating healthily out there. I wasn't eating big portions. I was eating a lot of fruit. And I was sat by the pool on day 3 because it was, quite busy. And I'm sat there and I thought, you know what? I'm fed up being the fat guy. I did. That's the truth. I sat there and I thought, I'm fed up being the fat guy, and I never used to be. And since I stopped playing football, it just balloons.
Yes.
And I thought, that's it. I'm not doing it. So since I've been back, soup, fruit, yoghurt.
Really?
That's been it.
Well done.
And I've lost just under a stone, and I'm keeping going till I can lose as much as I can possibly lose, because I am absolutely fed up of being the fat guy.
Well, we were wondering. There was a couple of reports of people being harpooned on the beach.
No,
and
not me.
You obviously you've lost weight, and believed that the hotel lost a fortune. That's there were rumours about like that, but no, you look healthy. You look as though you could have been doing another week.
Listen, I'm going back in October for the wedding anniversary. It's the 43rd wedding anniversary.
You've got a nice wee glow about you. Next time maybe take Alec, because he's like a ghost when you come into this studio.
You're asking me to take Alec on holiday. Remember, he lived at our house for a fortnight once.
He just lives in here.
My missus is not off her medication yet.
Yeah, he's like a ghost, so he needs a wee bit of colour about him. But no, you're looking well. You're looking good and looking up for it. So no, it was good. It's been good fun. Plenty to talk about. It's plenty happening.
Oh, there is absolutely.
And, the season's not even started.
No, that's a good thing. We've got another week or so to go before all of that kicks off. So no, it's there's plenty going on, as you well say. And let's start with that plenty. We'll look at the last night's Europa League games. Aberdeen won, Burnley won. Obviously, Nick Pope, the Burnley goalkeeper, was taken off with a fairly severe shoulder injury. He tweeted today, thanks to all the staff at Aberdeen Football Club and Aberdeen Hospital for looking after him so well. That's a bad loss to Burnley ahead of the season starting. If I'm Derek McInnes, he says there's not much difference in his club and Burnley apart from the leagues they play in. I wouldn't be happy going to Turf Moor with them having an away goal.
I think the way you're looking at Bill, they're not out to tie their stuff.
No, they're not.
Burnley have got the away goal. I watched bits of it, I listened to it, some of it as well. Craig's up here, my mate, obviously a mad Aberdeen fan, and he's pretty honest with you know, when he analyses the match, and it said, listen, you know, at 1-up there's a ball across the line, taps in, we're 2-up and we're in dreamland, but generally sat back a wee bit, defended a bit deeper the second half. They bring on the boy Sam Vokes, who then, you know, marries up with the big boy Chris Wood up top, who's a good player, strong. Then you've got two big strikers with a threat. But as I said, and I said in the lead up to the game, that Burnley would have probably fancied an easier tie. That was
absolutely,
you know, that way.
Yes.
Full house, you know, the Dons fans just screaming for everything. Shinnie magnificent, you know, and workman-like, and doing his bit in the middle of the park, and generally all over. They had no passengers. They all did, you know, themselves justice. They maybe just start looking at our league with a wee bit of respect now, you know, that way, where teams would come up. But listen, we no disrespect to Burnley, you know, they're no world beaters. Aberdeen could go down there and score first quite easily for a free kick, corner, whatever. So they're not.
I just think you're always in shaky ground, Hugh, when it comes to giving away goals at home in European qualifying ties.
Yeah, I know, Bill, but the game will change at Turf Moor. You know, Aberdeen have got to go and have a wee pop at them. And Burnley make no like that. So
no,
you don't know.
They won't. But don't forget, Aberdeen do have to go and attack.
Yeah.
Because they've got that away goal against them. Burnley then can catch them on the counter, and Burnley's patience, they can afford to be more patient than Aberdeen.
But they can, yeah. But even at 1-1, if Burnley score, Aberdeen are still in it. They go and an equaliser, and it's eeksy peeksy.
You're absolutely right.
So, you know, the 1-1 takes it into another level. Go, right, what do we do? A game of cat and mouse early doors. The Burnley go for the jugular and leave themselves open. So I think McInnes and Tony Docherty will take them down. They'll be well prepared. That's another game, you know, under their belt, and I think they'll go down to Turf Moor and do themselves a right turn.
Has Aberdeen brought enough new talent in? Have they you know, done well during the window, during the closed season, or do you think there's still stuff to be done there? I don't hear a lot of activity from Aberdeen. There's been a couple of people gone, a couple of people come in, but in real terms, I think maybe Aberdeen fans might have fancied a couple more, you know, joining the ranks. I
think when you read about Aberdeen, you're going there, you're never ever reading, I don't mean it, real eye-openers as footballers that will go, wow, what a signing that is. But then when you look at the wages situation, that explains why. You explain that, you know, Adam Rooney goes to Salford City, signs a deal with an up-and-coming club with loads of money and £4,000 a week. You know, it shows you where Aberdeen are and the strength of big signings, Bill, when Adam Rooney's leaving the so-called runners-up in Scottish football.
To be honest with you, Hugh, it doesn't just show you where Aberdeen are, it shows you where Scottish football is outside the old firm. You
look at the transfer negotiations right now between Hibs and Celtic. 2 million for John McGinn, an absolute joke. Martin Waghorn allegedly going to Derby for 7 or 8 million. I like Waggy, great player, wrong place, at the right place at the wrong time for me across the road. Played no man's
certainly
land.
Under the wrong manager.
Did many games with Tom with him, and I says, Tom, this guy's playing out of position. So when Martin Waghorn, when you look at it, is worth 7 and 8 million in the English market, it shows you where our game money wise. It's just bonkers. It's mental. So I think that's why we're not lifting the paper up and seeing Derek McInnes no signing really big players. I think the last signing, and for me I think I've had their fingers burnt a wee bit, was Stevie May bringing him back up the road. He's been a major disappointment. So they really need to.
Well, he's been a major disappointment since he left St Johnstone.
Exactly.
Let's be fair. Bad
injury at Sheffield Wednesday, hasn't kicked on from it, and has come back up the road. And again, I listen to Craig, and he's not really set the head on fire. I would not rule out. The only reason probably I maybe would the fact that Aberdeen could not match Johnny Hayes' wages, because I think in a minute Johnny Hayes would go back up the road. But I've already told you the wages he's on at Celtic Park, and it's mental compared to what he was on at Aberdeen. So how did they break that barrier down? It's all about the money going in the bank monthly with players, and notably agents. They're not letting a player sign unless the deal's right, because the deal's got to be right for the agent.
Well, that's right. I mean, he represents the best interests of his client, but that means that he's representing his own best interests as well.
So I doubt, you know.
And that's where we are with the game now.
So that limits you, Bill, on quality. There is no doubt. If you've got a budget, you can go and break the bank and get big-time players in, but it's all about the weekly wage.
Now, Big Craig, your pal, he's a dyed-in-the-wool Aberdeen fan. He's a Dons fan through and through. If you snapped him, it'd be like Blackpool Rockets, say Aberdeen through it. But he's also pretty realistic about the club, and when he needs to be critical of them, he is. What's his thoughts about Aberdeen going down there 1-1? Does he realistically feel that Aberdeen can progress in the tournament going down to Turf Moor?
Well, I asked him the question today, and I got that look of, you know that?
Aye.
You know,
I know exactly the look.
By the way, Shuggy, we gave them a right game. We pressed them. We sat back a wee bit, but I tell you, we're still in it. Craig's quite deep at the best of times, but he analyses the game well. And I just thought his reaction was, we've had our chance. You don't get a second bite at it against the bigger team. But I still think they're in it. I don't think they're out it.
Who are you waving to?
No, I've got a fly. There's a fly flying about, funnily enough. So I think they've not done themselves.
I just thought it was somebody watching the stream that you knew.
No, not at all. No, there's nobody I know that's nearby today. So I just think they've gave themselves a chance. And after first leg at 1-1, full house, to go down there, I think I feel quite sorry for them. They've only got a couple of thousand tickets, like for like. That's all Burnley got up here as well, which the supporters end, the away end at Pittodrie. I think that's really all they get there, isn't it? That's all they can cater for. So.
Asteris Tripolis, the Greeks came calling at Easter Road last night, and it looked as if it was going to be a Greek tragedy for Hibs. But they showed the spirit of the 5-5 against Rangers,
goals, isn't it?
And came back and won 3-2. But like I said about Aberdeen, if you're at home in these qualifiers, I think you've got to keep a clean sheet. And if you look at it now, again, they're not, they're still in the driving seat, because they can go, and if they can shut up shop, or they can steal a couple of goals early on, or a goal early on, they're in the driving seat. But looking at the other way, Asteris only need one goal. Yeah.
Well, at 2-0, Hibs are out. At 2-1, you've got a wee chance. 2-2, you're in the game. You go and win the game 3-2, and it's party time. You go into the dressing room. It's buoyant. It's Lenny will be having a pop at his back four, one or two mistakes. But generally at 3-2, Bill, you take that. And
he says his squad is weaker, he believes, than last season.
I think so. You get that feel about it. There's no doubt that it is weaker.
I'm sorry. I know people expect me to bore them on this programme, but I'm going to be boring again, because I'm going to start asking the same situation as I have over the last few weeks. Where is this budget that he was given by Hibs, that Leanne Dempster went marching up and down, blowing the bugle and banging the drum, saying he's got the biggest budget of any manager in recent times for Hibernian Football Club? If that's the case, surely Stevie Mallon's know the full extent of the budget.
No, but he's come in and did well. I like
of
Mallon.
Course he has.
I really fancied him before he went down to Barnsley. Didn't happen for him. Spoke to his dad, and he had said, I think Aberdeen was kind of sniffing about it at that time. I think Hibs is a good move. I think you'll probably find he's come up maybe a wee bit fitter as well, and I think the more games he'll get playing in the middle of the park for Neil and learning off Neil as a good midfield player, he'll become even better. I like Mallon. That's a strong signing. I looked at them. Maybe
it's a good one, especially if they can hold on to him again.
Yeah, it is, and I think it is. And I looked at maybe the shape. Maybe it wasn't guaranteed that was the exact shape at Easter Road last night, but I think Whittaker was wide of a 4, and when you've lost maybe Boyle wide right, or Dylan McGeoch in there as well, Scott Allen just off Canberra. There's 3, Bill, and that's us just starters. Stop playing tootsie with me under the table here, Bill. Come on.
Sliding tackle.
I thought you'd stop that, carry on. So really, I think that's a big loss. After a great season, a great finish to the season. Again, he's been following drama, pot calling kettle.
Yeah, he's away. He's another ban again.
UEFA, that's sewer
5 games.
5 games. So, and I think they will generally. I watch Gary Parker, I watch Alan Coombe on the side of the park, and there's always a void there when Lenny's not there. It's like Dick up the road with Arbroath when Pink's there. Yeah. Great, Pink, brilliant, his brother knows the stuff, but you need the gaffer there. And I think that is a loss for the side of the park with Lenny no on it. But I think he'll take out the game positives. But you can say right now, on the back of 2 performances in Europe, No, how many goals is that they've lost? I've not got any in front of me, but 3 last night, 4 away from home was 7, and then the home leg was a couple of goals. So let's say maybe 10 goals already that they've lost in 2 games at the back. So things are no great there.
12 goals in total in the last 4 competitive matches.
There you go, that says it all, doesn't it? An average of 3 a game, that's okay. That's Sir Kevin Keegan one, we'll score 4 if we lose 3, but it doesn't always work that way.
But you're relying on Canberra to score the
goals
4.
Up the top, exactly.
You're relying on him to score the 4.
Definitely. If that's not happening, and they're having an off day and still a bit shaky at the back.
Here's the thing as well, Hugh, and this is where it becomes dangerous for Neil Lennon psychologically. He knows that this team can hurt him, because they did 2 goals, and there were 2 goals down. What does he do when he goes out to Greece? Because he knows their danger. He's got to try and get that other goal, because he knows if they get 1, they're up against it.
But
what the hell does he do?
Well, I think he'll go. I don't think Lenny sits in. I don't think he can sit in. I think he, they are potent and quick in the break and slick and pass it well. Last season, that's what they were doing, and pass teams off the park. Obviously, the personnel just not as good as it was, and that's it. The bare facts that he's starting 11 are not as good as what he had, and that'll frustrate him. And then that's when we maybe see the side of Neil that we don't want to see, the frustration, and it all comes out and it all pulls out. So that there's a lot to be dealt with Neil Lennon. It's a lot of personal stuff that he's got to deal with at the best of times, and then obviously getting this budget that he was promised by Leanne Dempster and Rod Petrie, and it's not coming to fruition, so that'll frustrate him. But listen, Bill, they go there and it's 0-0, they're through. They go there and it's 1 each and they're through. They've got to go. They'll go and try to win the match. I think that's the way Neil Lennon sets his team out. They'll go and they'll be positive. They've scored 3 against the team. They'll be delighted. They've won the game. They'll take that abroad and hopefully progress. I hope they do. I want to see all the Scottish teams go through. But yeah, and again, the 2 have shit and they've lost, and well, how do we combat that abroad? And it's probably easier to deal with at home, but you've lost 2. We will be under pressure over there, so we have got to be even better than they were at Easter Road.
All right, let's move on to Rangers. Osijek 0, Rangers 1. I made a quip in the office, which is, it was as well it came to Morellis' head rather than his feet, otherwise you were in real trouble.
All right.
But no, look, it's a good victory. It's a very good victory for Rangers, especially when they had a couple of debutants there as well. Just very quickly, I don't know how much you saw of the game. I saw most of it.
Yeah, me too.
But I was impressed by McGregor. I thought the boy Goldson is what a class player he is. He just looks so composed at every turn. Yeah. He knows his positional sense is fantastic. And with Katic there, I think one complements the other. Katic is the stopper. Goldson is he's the player. But I don't think he chances his luck. I don't like people who do that. I don't think he does. I think he's a very clever central defender. I really do. I'm not convinced with Flanagan yet. I think his distribution's poor. Even in short passes, I think he can play players into danger by just putting it too far away from them and making them go for it. The boy Kent I liked. I thought he covered a lot of ground. I thought he did extremely well. I thought Koulibaly looked the part. I really did. And that crunching tackle, I'm told Stephen Gerrard calls him a destroyer. And that was obvious from that tackle in the second half.
Yeah, I watched it again. One of the boys in the office had it.
Which was just, that was an incredibly good tackle.
Wasn't it?
I thought Rangers played well and moved the ball well in the first half, and I thought they were due a couple of goals. It was just they never finished. Second half, I thought it was a risky game to play from the start of the second half to defend that 1-goal lead. However, I would caveat that with this. They did it far better than any Rangers team would have done it in the previous couple of seasons, which shows you where they've come from and where they've gotten to, because it was a good solid performance in terms of shutting up shop. There was a couple of wee scares, but there always will be when you're playing to defend a lead like that, Hugh.
Doesn't matter who you're playing abroad, the home team are going to have a lot of the ball and have chances and come at you. I spoke to Tom Miller today and he felt as if there was a lot of balls coming into the box that they could close down a little bit more. You know, there was balls getting whipped in that they felt as if they could go and close. But I think the spine of the team, when you've got McGregor as good as he is still in the nets, you've got, you know, Golston and Katic there as a rock in front of him, and then Koulibaly in the middle of the park. Now, this lad Koulibaly interests me as well because, you know, by all reports, the manager absolutely loves him.
Yeah.
And again, we watched the tackle. And then, you know, what again intrigues me and interests me and actually it excites me, because when Steven Gerrard was appointed a Rangers manager, we all knew the millions upon millions still wasn't going to come and land on his desk to go and sign all these big time Charlie players. That Steven Gerrard's name alone would attract players to that club, and the scouting network already. This kid has played 9 times with Mali, I believe, Bill. 9 internationals, playing with Angers in France, never heard of him, and suddenly, you know, Steven Gerrard really rates him, brings him in, makes his European debut, plays the boy Kent in the left to accommodate him. Murphy's more comfortable in the right anyway, cutting in. Morales gets his goal, and right through the team, Ryan Jack as well. And again, we spoke about Ryan Jack, you know, maybe asked to do things coming for Aberdeen that, you know, it wasn't the right time to be playing earlier for a young kid to come for Aberdeen. Sent off 2 or 3 times, no any experienced players round about him, no leaders helping Jack coming for Aberdeen, the manager no helping him because it wasn't happening there either. So there's another, you know, excuse for Ryan Jack. Flanagan, I think can play, I think needs games, could be a wee bit, I think, fitter. I know he did his pre-season with the guys in Spain, but you're talking about a European performance away from home, shutting shot, no losing goals, being concentration. You know what brings, Bill? That hard work on the training field brings that.
Yeah, and I mean, the goal was a good example. That was a set piece which had obviously been working.
Well, Tavernier all day long is as good as anybody, I would say, anywhere. And I'll get into the top flight in England about whipping the ball in and putting it where he should put it. And that's another player who looks fitter. I know he still gets a wee bit of stick with the Rangers fans saying, I would rather him maybe pushed on one. But that's all said and done.
I'm not
that's
sure.
and
I'm not sure it's as relevant this season.
He's better deep and saying it. I played right back most of my career. I played wide there for it, Ayr and Killeen, what have you. It's a whole new ball game playing there. You know, the game's then coming from behind you rather than in front of you, and it's so difficult then still to be, you know, as good going forward as ever say, oh, he's a good attacking fullback, play wide right and you'll bomb forward. That doesn't work that way, Bill. You're a right back because you're a right back. He's a defender first and foremost. His defending has got better. The shape of John Flanagan is there because he's tough. And not a lot of people will go past him, even though because he's cute enough to play in a situation in an area that he's not going to get caught in behind. So I just think going and winning 1-0 all comes from. I heard Dean Saunders talking about this morning. Could players get fitter? Could players be hungrier?
You know what? I've got to be honest with you, Hugh. I've noticed a big difference in the fitness levels of Rangers players.
But that helps you up top, Bill.
Absolutely. You know? And the workload and the way they play for each other now. And look, if you're Steven Gerrard, it's about the results just now. You've brought in 12 players. There's a prospect of you bringing in another 3, possibly 4. What you're looking for is the results and then the time. If you're winning, you've got that time for your players to gel and you can start developing the way you're going to play. If you're losing, you've got pressure on you.
Coutinho get 10 million, went to Luxembourg and lost against Progress.
Absolutely.
Steven Gerrard's hardly had a brown penny to spend. Hardly a brown penny. And he's juggled this, juggled that, moved in, moved out. Has he spent any money?
I thought it was a very impressive and comprehensive performance by Rangers last night. The boy Ajaria I like as well. He covers a lot of ground.
He's got great athleticism about him, gets about the park,
distributes the ball well. He does a lot of running. You know, he
pops up
in places.
Frightened.
He's no scared.
No.
I was impressed by him last night, and I think he came off literally because he'd run himself to a standstill.
Yeah, I thought,
but that's another thing that you know that Steven Gerrard requires from his players, and that is a high workload.
Yeah.
The work ethic you can see in Rangers now. You couldn't see it under Warburton. You couldn't see it under Kashinya.
Right,
you couldn't see it under Murty. You can see.
Why do I keep burning?
Watch that light. It's hot.
Yeah, you're right.
And I've got to say, it's the two things that have stood out for me. Well, the three things. Golson's one of them. Their fitness levels and their work ethic is far better, but there is a better quality there. They just need to get together, and that'll come.
Well, every interview I've seen Stevie Gerrard for he's arrived has always been positive, never negative. Wants his players to go out and do their utmost for the club. Now that means 120%. Wearing the Rangers badge, and that's it. And the Rangers fans want to see that. That's all. It's the same as the Celtic fans. They'll always back them if they see it giving them 100%. And we just spoke about Ryan Jack arriving there, and no having really anybody in the team. Ryan Jack wasn't getting help for the side of the park. Never mind the team when he get brought down for Aberdeen. So it was just like thrown. He was just thrown right into the deep end there. Now he's got players round about him. Like Jamie Murphy experienced. Johnny Flanagan, Golson playing English Premiership, McGregor having a wee chat in the dressing room. The manager, Gary McAllister, the backroom staff, just bringing the kid through. Remember, McCrory's on the bench last night as well. Windass is on the bench last night. So there's players that he still fancies he wants to bring in. Sadiq as well, up top, he's to come in. One or two players we think are still to come. Today you're telling me there was an offer made. You think there's been an offer made?
No, I know there's been an offer made.
One or two other players as well.
They're expecting probably Monday the Keane Bryant deal to be done.
Yeah. There's another one interesting
from Manchester City. Lafferty. There was a bid put in for £200,000 which was rejected by Hearts, but I said at the end of last season, I told you that he was on the radar for Rangers and has been ever since the season's finished. I don't know that he was top priority, but I think he's crept up the pecking order a bit now. I still think the Solanke deal's one that could come on. I mentioned Jermaine Defoe at the end of the season, and I honestly thought from the information I had that it was going to be a situation where he could come. Then it died a death. Somebody's spoken to me today saying it's back on again, potentially, the Jermaine Defoe one. Now, again, there's 4 or 5 forwards I know Rangers have been looking at. How true some of them are, I don't know. I know that Lafferty's always been on the radar. I know that Solanke has always been top of the list in terms of getting him there, but that's dependent on what happens with Klopp and who he brings in before the window closes. The Defoe thing was always there. It's been and it's gone. Is it true again? Honestly, don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me because I have heard a couple of stories, and today's is just the latest, and there's a load of things kind of stacking up. Was told at the beginning of the week that Windass is pretty much waiting for the offer from West Ham to come for him to go. I'm told that the Keane Bryant thing is one of those ones where he's going to be using him to replace Windass.
The more they do in Europe, as in gate receipts, will help Steven Gerrard be able to go to the chairman and say, like, Mr. Chairman, I need him, I need that, and whatever. And the more they progress in that, the more the better chances there are better players coming. You look at the Waghorn deal with the percentage of that. If that goes through, if the Windass deal went through, then it's going to be a lot easier for the manager to go and loosen the purse strings of the chairman. And I think that's a no-brainer. That's how I think it'll work. Lafferty, I think, would be a brilliant signing for Rangers. I don't think Hearts will play ball with that one, Bill. I think if they're looking at money for Kyle Lafferty, as much as a Scottish team to another Scottish team, I think Hearts will be. I bet you Hearts will be looking for £1 million. And I don't think he's worth £1 million. That's
the number I think that Hearts would put on it. I think they'd take 700,000, 750,000.
100%. Let's start at £1 million and let's be chipped away a little bit.
200,000, it's a toe in the water.
Of course
thing.
It is. It's just it's a note of interest, as you would say. But a note of interest in.
I'll tell you something though. In my view, as I say, and I've been talking about this Lafferty deal since the end of last season. You know that. For me, it would be a good signing for Rangers.
Laugh it would score 20 goals for Rangers.
Be a good signing for Rangers.
20 goals.
But I'll tell you something. Despite what Steven Gerrard said today about his selfless performance last night, and it was a selfish performance from Morelos, but I still say it was lucky it came to his head, not his feet.
Yeah.
The way that he's playing at the minute. I've got to be honest with you. I still don't see Morelos being at Ibrox when the window closes.
Well, that's interesting. It'll be interesting to see who then would come in with the Bucks if they are out there yet, still sniffing about Morelos.
Well, I think there are teams out there, but because of this £8.5 million deal that was on the table, and it was on the table at Christmas and New Year, I think, the value of him has shrunken considerably.
You and I know that if there was a team out there sniffing about Rangers right now,
they'll be looking at £2.5 million top whack from
two's
now.
coming to my mind right away.
£2.5 million tops. But what they'll do, if they're smart, is they'll wait till the window's almost closed, and then they'll come to Rangers so that there's not a great deal of wriggle room.
You know what I quite liked last night, and going to the bench, he had young Greg Doherty abroad with him as well last night. So you can then look at the man management of Stevie Gerrard. Somebody that he knows that he's not going to use long term. Now, what happened with managers in the past that come in, if you're bombed, Bill. And I know what it's like to be bombed, because I was playing the first team, then I wasn't playing the first team. You weren't even getting a sniff of the squad. Now, I think then the man management skills of Stevie Gerrard and Gary McAllister will be, going through the squad where there's still get wee Greg involved. Where the fact that they could have left him at home, didn't need to involve him because they know they're trying to find him a club to put him out on loan too. So I like that. I look at things like that and go, you know something? He's taking a kid there that knows he's not going to have a short-term future with Rangers, but still making full part of it until the move happens. So you look at the continuity of the squad. The camaraderie of the squad looks good. They're all together. They're doing me things together. There's not a lot of bad press coming out. But listen, he's getting the start that he would have dreamed of. Okay, the Bury game was the Bury game, but he's then taken that into the European scene. That's him won, 3 of them. Gets the team at home next week. They're 1-up. It's half time. Game's not finished. They made a few chances. Rangers will be better with another 90 minutes. They play Wigan Sunday. I would imagine it'll be, the fringes. It'll be playing players who didn't play abroad. With 1 or 2 players maybe getting a wee blow for half an hour. Come Thursday, good to go. And then they're obviously ready for the Aberdeen game the following week. So I think all looks well on a short period of time. A very, very small budget. Yeah, the wages will be getting negotiated and they'll still be paying good money. But when you then look at the previous managers down the line, Graham Murty's had more money to spend than Stevie Gerrard.
Absolutely.
As in hard cash, the £500,000 they paid for Greg Doherty. So I think they always looked at Steven Gerrard having this wee book that is full of contacts and people that will speak to Stevie Gerrard before they would speak to a lot of other people. And let's not forget, this guy's only 37-year-old. That came across me the other day there. Coming out of Rangers manager's office, 37-year-old. Yeah. So Rangers have made a big appointment there. And at this moment in time, always looking well. It's very early, very raw. But in a short space of time, as I've said, he's steadied the ship, got the fans on the side of the players and him, and they're all working together.
Let's bring in our old friend, Mr. Hegarty. How are you?
Good evening, Bill. Good evening, Hugh. I'm fine, thanks. Yourself?
And a happy birthday to you for I sent you the wee text.
Thanks for your text, Bill. But when you get past 60, you don't really want to be remembered about birthdays. You know what I mean?
What are you in your birthday, Higgs?
64 for you. 64.
Wow. 2 years older than me, Higgs.
Is that right, Bill?
Aye, 2 years older than me.
Oh,
so I'm the old codger, the last of the summer wine brigade. Eh?
I thought you were a wee bit older, to be fairly honest. Kind of late 60s. We've been quite positive here tonight, Higgs. I don't know if you've heard us talking about all the positive results for the Scottish teams, and obviously we can't miss out Celtic for the night of 4, who had a great result against Rosenborg, losing the early goal and then coming back.
Aberdeen the quality of the goals that Celtic put past them were excellent.
Boy Edouard, he's money in the bank. He'll be the next big thing as well. So all looks good.
About Stevie Gerrard and what you were saying, you're spot on. I think as well, I think people forget, he's had a run of games and they're all wins. But he's just going along nicely, in, not saying too much and not saying too little. He's just, I think, with Gary McAllister at the side of him, I think it's a great appointment. Plus, as well, he's just starting to gather a momentum, because that's what you want. Yeah. Because when you start to play Aberdeen in the first game of the season, that's when you're going to be judged. And I think what he's done in the recent past, yes, which is the last 5 or 6 weeks, I think he's done magnificent. And you shouldn't sort of think, otherwise in regards to last night's game in Croatia. You know what it's like, Hugh, going to any club abroad and getting a result which you got last night, and a positive result of that is fantastic. Because Paul, it's not easy to go away and get results.
Absolutely. Paul, you never heard it, but I said to Hugh earlier on, at this point in Steven Gerrard's Rangers career as manager, he's interested in getting the wins. How he gets them and how attractive they are, it isn't really important. For one reason, he's brought in 12 players, and he's got another 3 or 4 possibly to bring in, as far as I know. Now, with those 12 players, he knows it's going to take time to get them to gel and get used to playing with each other. If you can still be winning while that's happening, it's happy days. If you're not winning, it puts extra pressure on them to get things right quickly. So it's the wins that he's looking for at the minute. And he'll want them to do it in as much style as he possibly can, but he'll just want the wins.
Yeah, Bill, as well.
It's a great comment, Bill. Great comment, because all I can talk about is, like, say, my own team, Dundee United. They're like Rangers in regards to bringing players in. United have brought 12 players in, and they can't buy one. Yeah. And obviously things are not very good at this part of the world just now, but just what you're saying about Stevie Gerrard with Rangers, and what Hugh was saying, he's just going along nicely. He's not too high, he's not too low, but deep down he'll be really saying, by the way, we're on the up, and which is the most important thing. And I feel as well, very few goals against. You've got McGregor in goal, a great influence throughout the team, and see if you've got a good solid base from back, middle, and obviously you get the front players and the middle front players to do the business. That's what you're looking for. And Stevie Gerrard's got a great pedigree as a player. Now he's going to be based and judged as a manager. But what I see at present, Bill and Hugh, I think he's done really, really well. But it's always been low-key. Very much like Brendan Rodgers. You never get too high, never get too low. And when they do get a wee hiccup, nothing's really said too much about the result, or obviously between the managers. But no, I think Stevie Gerrard's done really, really well. And to bring so many players in at one time is a tall order.
And Heggs, you're talking about the presser saying that he's very easy to interview, he's coming across well. What is actually buying Stevie Gerrard a wee bit of time into the management chair is see if his team keeps winning, Higgs. He doesn't really need to say a lot.
Correct.
And he'll be saying to himself, I tell you what, we've had a great look. Because you know what it's like, Higgs, you don't want to go over the top. You just say, we've had a great little start here, Gary, and you'll keep it going. I don't need to say too much in the press. Which, rather than getting off to a horrible start, a young manager coming in, saying all the wrong things, press on top, before you know it, what an appointment this has been. It turns the fans' head, so suddenly, they're getting a wee bit of luck. Yeah, they've had chances against them, what have you. Teams that are playing against them had 1 or 2 wee chances, but you've got to get a wee bit of lady luck, Bill.
Yeah, you do.
Work your way into the job, get the team in, get the personnel right. If you've not got the personnel, you don't win football matches, and it's proved
the comment you made there about getting players in and that, and having to make them gel, it is difficult because everyone's different, and obviously going to a club like the Rangers, a massive club, but what you're saying, Bill, you're spot on, and he's done it gradually, and he's just kept ticking away, and as Hugh was saying, if you get wins, get results, nobody's going to be on his case, because all he can say is, well, how many games have we won, how many games have we lost, how many games have we drawn, and if it's all positive, then people will just be delighted at what Stevie Gerrard's doing with Rangers.
And let's be honest, we were talking earlier on as well, Higgs, about this. If you're at home in a European qualifier, you want to keep a clean sheet. If you're away from home, you want to nick a goal, because it means the other team automatically have to score 2 goals before they even hit your stadium. And he'll be over the moon at the fact that they've nicked that goal and come back. And I was saying to Hugh as well, look, Steven Gerrard knows the game far better better than I'll ever know if I live to be 150. Yeah. But here's the thing, I wouldn't have played the way that they played from the start of the second half last night, trying to defend that 1-goal lead. But as I said to Hugh, what it does show you is where Rangers have come from, because a Rangers team in the last 3 seasons wouldn't have been able to defend that 1-goal lead as effectively and as well as they did.
Yeah.
That's right, but and also as well, you see, like say, the Croatian team's not as if it's a household team. So I should say a household name. So he's under more scrutiny, he's under more pressure. But because if you're playing against a well-known team, everyone says, "Oh, by the way, they've got a great pedigree in Europe." But the team that played last night, you're not sure what you're coming against. Yes, they've probably had them watched. Yes, they know everything about them. But playing against a team of not great standing, still getting a result means more than anything else, because see, getting a result, and I've got to emphasise it, see, winning away from home in Europe, it's very, very difficult. And see, when you do it, you make your job 10 times easier when you go home, because you've got your fans, looking forward to the game, as you would say, desperate for the result, and they'll probably win handsomely 2 or 3 nothing at Ibrox, or even maybe more.
Yeah, but tough game on Thursday. They'll come over and fancy they've all got a few wee chances. Maybe the way Rangers want to go and press and leave things open at the back. But I just think the feeling's right, the fitness is right. I was saying to Bill earlier on, I like Dean Saunders. I listen to him. He's funny. He was on this morning with Jim.
He never shuts up, though.
I know he doesn't shut up. He's a budgie, but he's very, very funny. He's a budgie, he is. He's a budgie. And he was talking about getting players. He didn't mention any players, and he's very cute the way he highlights where he's been, Bill, when players, Paul, that he felt. They initially were talking about Luke Shaw at Man United, suddenly now trying to get fitter because it's the last year of his contract, where before, I know he's had a bad injury, a really bad leg break, but he said pelters about not getting himself fit. Now that could be said about a lot of Rangers players getting themselves fitter. Honestly, I don't know how high he spoke highly of Morales yesterday, but he spoke high of getting the kid fitter and how fitter the kid wanted to get. And if you've got a player who wants to get fit for the club, plus the club have put a lot of time and effort on a particular player, then you're going to reap the benefits. Players have got to be fitter. They must be fitter. Dean Saunders was talking about a player this morning, and again, it's seen in training, Bill. Managers notice things in training. Yeah. They'll say, "Oh, his back end's a wee bit bigger than what it was." You know what I mean? Obviously my problem as well, having need to get shorts made for my rear. So managers was always say, "You could be doing losing a wee bit of weight." So Dean Saunders got a hoddy player, put him on the scales and went, "Listen, I think you're 5-6 pounds overweight." And then he went, "See that 5-6 pounds? Can you imagine what that's like trying to bulk it round about the park? You're not pressing as much, you're not thinking quicker, and that's more weight on your shoulders, basically." So I think Stevie Gerrard's went in there, run their legs off him, I believe, in Spain. Spoke to a lot of people for Rangers TV who were over. Spoke to Tom, who was down watching them training as well, with his autograph book. So basically, they're doing their bit for him, Bill. But things become easier, Higgs, when results happen, and that. Confidence comes through, players start doing things, expressing themselves, and let's not forget they've got a great backing. They've got a brilliant backing, who are just happy to see their team probably in the hands of a young manager who's embracing it right now, and it's something new they all want to be a part of.
You know as well as I do, see when you did play, right, and see when you were extremely fit. You could take on the world, and see if you were beat by a better team, you can accept that. But see when you're extremely fit and you've got a bit of skill as well, which you had, it's great, because you go in the next game just absolutely delighted to get the 3 points or get into the next round of the European Cup or the UEFA Cup, or in our days there's a few Cities Cup. But it's one of these ones. See when you are fit, you can take on the world, and as I say, if you get beat by a better team and you play against a better player against you, and he's much better, then you have no excuses, because skill-wise he's been better than you. But I must admit, when at United, that was a major criteria, was you had to be bum fit, and we used to get weighed in every Friday morning, and see if you were 2-3 pounds over your weight, you got fined.
Well, Higgs, I'm going to take you to Dundee United and you wonder how I know all of this, and I can't tell you, but I do. Things not good at Tannadice. I believe a delegation of players went to see the manager, 5 in all, to represent the feelings of pretty much the full squad, and one of the complaints they had was they didn't feel they were fit enough.
Well, it just depends on what they've been doing in the last 6 or 7 weeks pre-season training, or I should say 5 weeks, Bill. But it's like everything else. If the players feel they're not doing enough in the training, then they should be saying to the manager, the assistant manager, after training, can we get more?
Well, they've been to see the manager, and I'm told the manager says, I'm not changing anything, no discussion. And I also heard... and it's from a very, very good source of one manager that's been approached for the Dundee United job, right, and wouldn't take it because he didn't feel the club were in the right position. So I believe that there's all sorts of rumblings going on at Tannadice at the moment.
Listen, I know, Higgs,
and it's not a happy camp.
No, Hugh, I don't know anything about that yet. I've not even seen them this season, because my first game is going to be next Saturday when they play Dunfermline, and Dunfermline are in tip-top form now. But no, I don't know anything about that. What I do know is that I've been a wee bit upset with the manager saying that he's using this Betfred League Cup, obviously for the season ahead. But what you've got to do is get pre-season games under your belt, get wins under your belt, and when you take the League Cup on in this format, you've got to get results, because at this moment in time they haven't won a game. They have not won a game, and that's the bottom line. And the confidence and the morale will be low, and the players have got to look at themselves as well and say, well, maybe I'm not as good as what I should be. Maybe I shouldn't be at Dundee United because I'm not good at it. What I would say is, see the players that they've signed in the present and previous, they didn't really particularly excite me, honestly. And that's how I look at it. I'm a great believer. See, in this division, you've got to battle your corner, and irrespective of how you play, you make sure you come away with a victory and make sure you don't get a defeat. And if you do that, you'll be there or thereabouts. But we all want to play nice football and silky soccer, and this is what I see with a lot of clubs. But see, the bottom line is, Hugh said earlier on, see the Rangers fans, see if they're not playing particularly well, but they're winning. That's all they care, because fans just are desperate for a winning side. And Dundee United at this moment in time aren't doing that. And I actually feel sorry for the new chairman, Mike Martin, because I know him quite well, and he's given everybody an opportunity to say, well, go and show me what you can do. And at this moment in time, because I've spoke to 2 or 3 of my mates who've went to games in the League Cup games, right? And they think Dundee United are actually worse this year than what they were last year. And that's some of the people that I know have went to games.
Yeah. Well, listen,
that's no nice.
Higgs, Bill, see the way I look at Dundee United right now, and you know my thoughts on Shaba Laszlo.
Yeah, I do.
And Mike Martin, who's went in and put his money where his mouth is making decisions probably on and off the field. It's a kind of mirror image right now, a Kilmarnock over the years of maybe a bit quick for Lockie and Alan Johnson and Lee McCulloch. Then suddenly, they bring in somebody that I don't mean that in a bad way, and somebody that knows what they're doing, somebody that knows the game. Stevie Clark. The difference he got out of players that they couldn't, night and day. You then bring in Shaba Laszlo. Players are not playing for him. I know that for a fact.
You're absolutely right. And I mean, it's so early in the season for this kind of revolt to be happening.
United shouldn't be in the position they're in right now after 3 games of that Betfred. Absolutely.
They are. And see, the longer it gets on, longer it goes on, what's going to happen is nobody's going to, and it is happening now, the teams are not going to have a fear going to Tannadice. They're actually relishing going to Tannadice, knowing full well that they're there for the beating, and we'll be picking up the 3 points, because it happened on numerous occasions last year. See, once you get into that rut, it's very, very difficult to get out of it.
Higgs.
And it's got to be done tomorrow against Elgin City up there.
Higgs.
They've no won. United have no won. So, That's a massive game in the morning for Dundee United.
Well, let's talk about it, because it's one of the ones we were going to cover anyway to look ahead of, and you've said it. Dundee United are sitting there with 2 points. Elgin City have got nothing. They're both facing each other at Elgin tomorrow, with all the ramifications of the hoo-ha that's been going on behind the scenes with Dundee United. It makes you wonder now if Dundee United players are going to talk to the manager and the manager says, I'm not changing anything, no discussion, whether those players are going to start playing for him, rightly or wrongly. They could just down tools now.
Yeah, my first thought is, when you said that, Bill, right, it was, could you see a delegation of players in my time going to wee Jim? Wee Jim would just hound you and say, by the way, just forget about that, you'll not be playing anymore. You know what I mean?
All season.
And that's the threat that we had. See, players now, they're actually ruling the roost. They should be getting on with the job in hand and getting themselves fitter. If they're not feeling fit as what they should be, is what you're saying, and I've not heard that, they should be doing something extra after training, because if they've not got that in their tank just now, you can't make it up during the season because it's too late. Pre-season for the first 2-3 weeks, yes, you got a bit of ball, but it was mainly running in my way. And see, when you get that in the bank, that stands you in good stead for the next 10 months, Bill. Believe me. And Hugh will tell you, he went to Rangers and Hearts and went to Gillen, and that's what he got the first 2-3 weeks. And that is a fitness level that you cannot replicate during the season. Because see, if you get injured now, you'll not be managed to make it up, because you don't have time to make it up, because all your homework is done in pre-season training, and that stands you in good stead for the rest of the 9 months or 10 months of the season.
Got to agree, and I can't believe, guys, how Shaba Laszlo hasn't galvanised that club and that squad. He's now put together to hit the ground running in his Fred. And now you look at that group there. Alloa doing great with Jim Goodwin. Arbroath incredible with Dick Campbell and the two guys trying to get it right at Ross County. Elgin as well. Not an easy place to go and win, but Dundee United have just not started, and it's the worst possible start that Shaba Laszlo. And I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke at myself, but I've told you months in end.
Yes, I
this
can see
will
that.
End up in disaster for this manager, because it just doesn't look right for me.
Hugh, my concern as well, some of the players that he's bought, right, are from abroad, which is fine. That's fine. But see, if you don't know the Scottish game, the Scottish game is very physical, it's very demanding. Okay, it's not as good as technically as what it should be, but it is improving. But see if you can't handle that side of the game, you have no chance. And I think that's where you've got to have players. Scottish players maybe a Scottish player went down to England, he's come back into Scotland, or he's looking for a team in Scotland who knows the ropes. See, if you don't know the ropes, it's a big problem.
I'm sorry right now, and I don't follow the Championship as much as I do because I'm at Ibrox all the time, what have you. And I don't even think I'm embarrassed to say right now, I couldn't tell you a Dundee United player. And how many years is we can have rhymed the team off?
Well, I'll tell you, that's interesting, because two of them are ex-Rangers players.
Well, I still don't even know who they are.
Fraser Aird and Nicky Clark.
Well, yeah, they signed in the back of Dunfermline. Yeah, I understand that now, but you know what I mean.
No, but
they don't stick in my mind and go.
No,
Clark's been a great.
I wasn't trying to embarrass you.
No, but I remember them signing in the summer.
Just if you think about it.
But Dundee United, we could always. I'm not going back to even when we played, but over the last 10 years, and when we Sid was there with Jackie and all the players were there. Then after with Youngie and Patalainen, still good players, and then suddenly all these players are all leaving. They're not coming in with any quality. The Arabs are frustrated. The fans are dwindling away. New chairman's coming in. Thompson's away. Mike Martin should have made the decision for me and put a new manager in. If he's putting the money in, I think he should have been big enough and strong enough to say, Shabo, it's not happening. There's your deal. Next, who are we looking for? An experienced, homebred manager, knows the scene, knows Dundee, knows the players, and knows how to get the league.
Well, this isn't the manager that I was talking about earlier on. But I'm told that Yogi's in the running, but he wasn't the manager that I was talking about earlier.
For me, to be fair.
But see if United had won the 3 games in the League Cup, right? Do you think the players would have went and seen the manager? From what I gathered, yes. A bit of blame as well.
But I gathered, though, yes, it's not a happy camp, Paul.
Right, well, I can't. See, I've not been to Tannadice, so I've not seen them this season, so I can't comment. But this is all new to me. There's nothing in the papers up here, Bill. I can assure you. All that's in the papers up here is obviously Dundee are the kingpins at present time because they're in the Premiership. But the word at Tannadice is what players are signing. The Congolese player they've signed that I've never heard, and there's somebody from Germany who's played with Bayern Munich, probably third team, no, his first team, you know, in Bayern Munich. Now that's not what I want to hear. I want to hear about players who have maybe played the game in Scotland and they've went down to England and they've come back up the road. They've got a bit of pedigree and they know the Scottish game.
Yes.
See, I've played with players that come to Scotland in my time, and they found it difficult to play in Scotland. I'm talking about Miodrag Krvokovic and Freddie van der Hoorn, and they were tried and tested professionals, and it took them maybe about half a dozen to 8 games before they sorted themselves out, and once they did that, it was not a problem, and they were experienced players at the time coming to Scotland from Holland and Yugoslavia when it was then Yugoslavia, respectively. So, you know, if you've got players who don't really know the Scottish game, it's a problem. But Freddie and Miodrag came across and they found out how intense the Scottish game was, and then once they realised what it was all about, it was not a problem to them.
Yeah, but Higgs, remember, Higgs, these guys are coming into a well-established club with a good manager.
That's right.
And some quality players. You're going to unearth a wee gem now and again coming from abroad, and somebody that's a wee bit different, and you know, wow, he'll probably get a move to the Premier League. But when you're bringing in so many of them, I think, listen, it stands to reason the foreign manager's going to bring in foreigners. I just cannot believe it. You know, sometimes I get quite excited about it, as you know well. With that, I just can't believe it. They've sat with this manager and they're giving him time to get it right. And there's 3 horrendous results at the start of that.
Give me your thoughts on tomorrow then. Give me some numbers. Elgin against Dundee United. Bearing in mind it's at Elgin. Elgin got no points. Dundee United.
Oh no, it was 4 for it. Beat Montrose midweek. I saw that's a different.
Dundee United 2 draws so far.
Oh, Higgs, I'm going to put you in the spot, big man. How do you think your team will do tomorrow?
See, going to Borough Briggs is just what you're saying, Bill. It's a tough place to go to, and if you're not playing particularly well, it's a problem. I think it could easily go to penalties. That's
again.
I'm saying it. I really don't know. Well, yeah, I'll go for Dundee United, but what I'm saying is, what I've heard from people that I know, it's not very good watching them playing at Tannadice. They've seen them play away from home, and it's not very good. So, you know, it's all right playing these games, but you've got to win games and have a bit of form going into your league, because when you play Dunfermline next week, Sandy and Alan Johnston have got them firing up. They just thumped Beacon City away from home at Glebe Park 7-1 the other night. Now, you're not telling me that Dunfermline are going to go up to Tannadice quaking in their shoes? No, they're just going to say, by the way, guys, let's get rattled in against the Dundee United block, because they've not won a game yet.
So
but I'll go for United tomorrow, eventually to win against Elgin.
Alright, Hugh.
I'm going to go Elgin pens. Just when the back of Higgs is telling me his pals are there, they'll know the game, they'll know the team, and the players are probably still not that good to go up and even win it. Elgin, it's going to go the full hog. Still, players really still trying to get their fitness, and it's even tougher trying to get fitness when things are not going well.
Alright, well look, let's take a break and we'll come back and we'll talk more football right after this on RockSport Radio.
Love music, live sport. Talking football with Bill Young, Hugh Burns and Paul Hegarty on RockSport Radio.
OK, we've only got a week to go before the season starts properly with the Championship, of course, next week. Let's move back to Group A. Alloa against Ross County. Now, we were saying that league-wise, and maybe unfairly, that based on what we've seen in the Championship over the last 4 seasons, we think this is probably the toughest Championship there's been for this season. And based on last season, with the 2 part-time clubs going down, that it might be a bit of a struggle for Alloa. Mike Mulroney and Jim Goodwin certainly don't think that, and they've got off to a flyer in the Betfred, Hugh.
Flying 8 points, top of the section. Yeah, entertain Ross County tomorrow. Brilliant. I like what Goodwin's all about. He's been in there, and you know, it's a breeding ground for young managers getting in and getting it right. So they've hit the ground running. You know, you're not going to tell me if Jim Goodwin was in charge of Dundee United, they would have lost 3 games. That's what I see Dundee United should be looking for a young, hungry manager like that, rather than the route we've spoke about. So I think they'll entertain Ross County more and fancy their chances. You know, a First Division club, the only part-time club in that, Championship club, only team in that league that are part-time. But listen, the way Goodwin went about his business, the players will be fit. Part-time players are fitter now than they ever have been, Bill. They're young kids. They're no old experience, has-been journeyman players that I was in the latter years of my career. So, you know, players are fitter now. I don't think the part-time thing really comes in. It's something we used to talk about all the time, wasn't it? They're going to a part-time club, they'll overrun them.
Yeah.
Know the way Goodwin sets his stall out, and I think Ross County will go and struggle there tomorrow.
Heggs, one of the things that they have done as well at Alloa is they've brought the pitch in considerably, so they know the kind of football they want to play and how they're going to play it. And I mean, they've brought it in considerably. I forget exactly how much they brought it in by, but
why did they do that? On the fitness level?
I think it's just because they play a certain type of football and that's the way they want to do, but they've brought it in considerably. Yeah. But anyway, Heggs, as I say, Alloa, Ross County coming down from Dingwall, one of my favourite places. I love it.
Nice up there,
gorgeous. And as I say, you've got Alloa with 8 points and Ross County with 6 points. What's your thoughts?
Well, I've got to echo what Hugh was saying there, Bill, because last season Hugh was waxing lyrically about Jim Goodwin, and he's 100% correct. He's done extremely well with Alloa. They've started off brilliantly in the League Cup, and really he's one of these managers that obviously, you know, that is desperate to do well in the game, and if he just has a decent season this year with Alloa, he'll not be there too long, because there'll be other clubs sniffing about, and I never really seen that, because he was probably just hoping to stay in the division, which he did. But Hugh was saying from the outset about Jim that, you know, he just feels something that he's got, and he has got, and he's done really well. They came up to Tannadice and got a result eventually, which is it should be a mean feat, but nowadays it's fairly easy to go up to Tannadice and get a result. But I just think what Hugh was saying about Alloa Athletic, spot on. Ross County, I'm always a bit wary with joint managers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just find that no right, because, you know, you should have a manager, head of the club, head of the association, and obviously you've got an assistant. But, you know, they've started with 6 points, which I know, but, you know, I just feel with them getting relegated, it could be a problem for them. But I just think Alloa have got something about them, just because of what you've been saying about Jim Goodwin over the last year. Well, I just fancy Alloa tomorrow.
We spoke about.
I think Alloa win 2-1, Bill.
We spoke.
Well, just before you go on, guess how far they've brought it in?
5 yards.
9 metres.
Well, 1 yards is
9 metres. So
9 metres.
Half either side.
They've brought the pitch in 9 metres. I'm just looking at it now. They've brought it in 9 metres. Just have a wee look at that, Hugh, and it'll give you an idea. There's where it was, and where the corner quadrant is where it's going to be.
No,
that's it.
There's another part in there. You know something, Heggs? I'm not exaggerating, right? They've brought it in that far. Can you imagine taking a throw in and throwing it back to the goalie on just inside his 18-yard box? Not just as long as that, but that's how far they brought it in. That's when you look at it, isn't it?
Well,
really?
that's where they brought it in, to give them an advantage this season in the championship.
That's how far they brought it in. Maybe not just, that's exaggerating a wee bit, but that kind of dimension would that's incredible. I've never ever seen anything like that. Well, listen, I thought Goodwin was a man for St Mirren. Bill and I had words about it, and he says it wasn't the right job at the right time for him, but I always just said that don't rule it out, and he's eyeballing me right there right now. I don't want to look at him. I'll look at the screen.
He's staring away.
I'm not talking to him.
He's averting his gaze.
He's ready to come in and give me a bit of stick. But if St Mirren had wanted Jim Goodwin, which they should have done, he'd have been a better call than Alan Stubbs. Next.
Give me a prediction.
Well, we can't argue with that, because he's 100% correct.
Alloa 2-1.
2-1 to Alloa. Heggs.
I was the same. It's 2-1.
All right, let's move to Group B. East Fife against Falkirk, and both of them are down there at the bottom. Falkirk 4th with 3 points, East Fife with 2 points.
Wee Youngie better get his finger out of an old dole queue for him. He'll be off to
Latvia.
Well, he's always got that to fall back on, isn't he? Him and Big Mixu. They've not had a great start. Again, players, coming and going, more coming in, and just stumbling across the right formula and the right shape and what have you. They think they've got enough to challenge. I just like to hit the ground running. I like to see teams winning early on, and be it pre-season friendlies. And I think this is a brilliant format.
It sets a mood.
Of course, I think this Betfred's great. Fans there, no meaningless friendlies, something to play for, progress, cash in the bank, getting into the latter stages. But I don't think they've just started yet, Falkirk. They're fits and starts, really. And I think they could have done a wee bit better. But no, it's a tough one tomorrow. Go to East Fife under Naismith. I think, no Naismith. Darren Young's there, isn't he?
Yeah.
No easy to go there. Higgs has been there. No, it's a nice little set-up. And I think they might struggle there tomorrow.
Paul?
I think two teams at the moment will just sort of try to find their feet.
Yeah.
But I think it's a big season for Paul Hartley, because obviously when he took over Peter Houston, he obviously tried to get him up the league, and obviously eventually kept him in the league no problem. So this is a big season for Paul, and I think he's signed 2 or 3 players that are tried and tested in that division. So I think he'll have a decent season in the championship. But like everything else, you've got Ross County, Partick Thistle, my old club as well, Dunfermline, who are sort of setting the head on fire just now. I think sometimes that's not a good thing in regards to playing really well and scoring goals. You want to, yes, get a bit of confidence and win games, but it's over the 10-month period that you want to sort of say, well, we're into the Premiership. But tomorrow, I think maybe Falkirk will just maybe have too much for East Fife, and I think going to Bayview, it's not an easy place to go in the best of times, but I just think Falkirk have just got a wee bit enough in their armoury to see through the game and get 3 points, Bill.
Higgs, Bill, I'm always interested, speaking to assistant managers, finding out how close they are to the manager, what his training thoughts are, his methods. And Youngie said he's not seen a manager as ruthless as Hartley. Once he decides what he's doing, that's it. No leeway, end of chat. If you follow it with him, you're down the road. And if you don't work the way he wants you to work, or play the way he wants you to play, as in shape and how he thinks you can play, and if you're not doing it, there's no excuses. Totally ruthless. So that wee streak.
It's a double-edged sword, that one, because you can't. If that's the way you play, you can't then start throwing stones at players if they're playing that way.
Then going back to them, trying to get them on your side.
And the other thing is as well, you're putting your head above the parapet, which I think managers should do more often anyway.
Yeah.
But you're shouldering full responsibility because you're saying it's my way or the highway.
Well, you're then talking about the Teddy Butcher thing at Hibs, isn't you?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Getting them on your side is okay. If you're a manager, and Higgs will know, if you're giving somebody a wee chat and a wee cuddle, they're with you. Next thing, if you're turning on them and they know, once this manager turns on me, that's it, then you've lost the player. So that might be quite detrimental to him being a manager.
Having said that, he seems like the sort of guy that players want to play for. I don't think he's one of these. I don't know. You talk to Youngie more often than I do.
Well, I can't get. That's true.
You listen to him more often than I do.
Right. Here's one to think quickly. Would Paul Hartley be a better Dundee United manager than Shaba Laszlo?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, because I think that's what Dundee United need at this moment.
Character,
yes,
and decision making. We are chairman to back you. Yeah, he's been across the road and managed, but to hell with that. Is he going to get results? He's got good stock. He's just missed out on a couple of big jobs. If he goes to Falkirk and gets that right, I would say that he would knock houses down to go and get Dundee.
I mean, without a doubt. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, Higgs, but I think it's that regimented, almost like wee Jim kind of thing coming back to visit.
I had a few dealings with Paul Hartley when I was at Montrose, guys. He was excellent to deal with, absolute smashing.
Did you have players on loan from him, Higgs? Did you have
players
a
couple of players on loan. He was smashing, absolute different class. You know, easy to deal with. But I can see where you're coming from, Hugh. Like, you know, if he feels you're not doing it, you know, your card could be marked. But that's not a bad thing. Why not? Because, you know, like anything else, players nowadays are ruling the roost, and that shouldn't be. The manager has total say in what happens at football clubs, or should have. Players shouldn't be doing this and doing that. They should just be doing as they're told by the manager. And I like managers like Sir Paul Hartley who are doing that. And if you get results, then, as you would say, Hugh, people buy into it, and it's easy. It's the other problem if you do have this sort of regimental way going about things, and things are not going particularly well, then what do? You know, do you revert to the other side of it? It's very difficult. I think man management in the game nowadays is vital, but I'm not particularly like that, because I was brought up the other way, and we had a manager. If he had said, if I say snow's black, it's black. You know what I mean? That's how it went. End of story. Absolutely. I was actually saying to somebody today, we were talking about friendly games, and I remember we played a friendly game over at St Andrews against St Andrews University, and it was a pre-season friendly, and it was a waste of time, but we were winning something like 12-0 at half time, and I think somebody had said to me, Jim, this is a waste of time, and all Jim just says, just get on with it, because see, if you don't want to get on with it, just come off, and that'll be you for the day. And that's what it should be.
All habits die hard. Good standards are all about. I think if you've got good standards that at a club who are toiling, then the good standards then become, you know, second nature to players, and they buy into it, and they like it. Training becomes better. I bet the training's flat at Tannadice, where somebody could get in and galvanise that. And I keep going back to maybe the Stevie Clark thing, like for like, where Kelly were. Couldn't he buy a win, second bottom, finishing top six and flying? So, who's giving you stick?
No, nobody's giving me stick. I'm just laughing at you two. We start off at East 5 Falkirk and we're back at Tannadice.
And then I'm away, didn't get Then I'm away here, sir, again.
You're away up the East Coast. You've gone from Methil up to Dundee.
Talking football, Bill. He's talking football. Falkirk.
Our travel correspondent Hugh Burns on a nostalgic trip round the grounds.
I like to slightly diverse. I'm going to go Falkirk 2, East 5-1.
All right.
I'm going to go Falkirk 2, East 5-0.
Okay. Forfar against St Johnstone. Forfar a team that I don't know a great deal about. I have to be truthful about this.
Big Jim's there.
Yes, but I still don't know much about them. Heggs, you'll know more about them because it's your neck of the woods. But St Johnstone, of course, they're doing okay. They're leading Group B at the moment. They're at Forfar tomorrow for that game. Your thoughts on that one, Heggs?
Yeah, St Johnstone are leading that group quite comfortably. Jim Muir had a great result on
big time.
Tuesday or Wednesday. They beat my old club Montrose 3-1 in a derby game, and by all accounts, Stuart Peaty, the Montrose manager, says that Forfar deserved to win it. You know, so it's one of these ones. Montrose have been riding high all season. Since I left, they've been riding high big time. It's the best thing that Montrose did was get rid of me. But no, I haven't been serious. But Stuart Peaty has done an exceptional job, and to lose 3-1, and Stuart saying that Forfar deserved to get a win speaks volumes for Jim Muir's squad. St Johnstone played Montrose last week and won by the odd goal, 1-0, and by all accounts St Johnstone dominated the game for a good part or a good chunk of the game, and Montrose came late on with a few flurries. But I just think St Johnstone, because of the Premiership team, they have got experienced players. They've got players that's been through the mill before. They'll just have enough to see themselves get the points at Station Park. Plus, as well, you know, I know that Forfar are part-time, and Hughes rightly said that players are much fitter nowadays, but I think sometimes 2 games in 3 days for a part-time club, if you've got a normal job, can be a bit put onto you because the physical and obviously the mental demands are great. And I just think St Johnstone guys will win fairly comfortably tomorrow.
Yeah, big Weirzo part.
You've only got 2 weeks, by the way, for Tommy Wright to leave St Johnstone.
Yeah, I did see it.
But he said that last
it was. He'll not be the manager at the beginning of the season.
You never know. He could lose the next couple of games.
You've got 2 weeks, Shug.
You're going to defend yourself. Come on.
Yeah. I sometimes get it wrong. Listen, he could lose his next couple of games, lose 4 in training.
But Hugh had said he's the man for the job. He's done a great job at St Johnstone.
I know.
He just had a one-off season.
I'm very surprised.
I tell you what would make me laugh on the Friday night before the season kicks off. Dundee United come up and offer him the job.
Well, you never know. But listen, I don't really know Tommy Wright. He's sent 1 or 2 players. Obviously, notably, boy up front that played with Celtic, Tony Watt, who now needs to buckle down and start scoring goals. That's he's come in and obviously the goal against Barcelona, people still talk about it. That's done and dusted now. St Johnstone pays wages. He's thankful that Tommy's gave him a chance to come up and ply his trade in the Premier League. Great little club. And listen, I've got nothing against Tommy. I just thought the time had come for him to move on. Obviously hasn't. Bill's rubbed my nose right in that. I wasn't even going to talk about that. But the bottom line is,
are you pleased to have me back?
They got to for tomorrow. Big pal of mine, Big Weirzo, legend of a guy, great centre half, Big Weirzo. Didn't really happen for him at Elgin. Started at Montrose, I think. Am I right in saying he took the Montrose job? Did he take him? Aye, he did.
As a manager.
Yeah. Did he?
I think it was either that or both, Hugh.
Well, I don't know. I thought it was one of the strangest moves ever. He was assistant manager at Owen Coyle and then he taken a job down the leagues. I think it might have been something to do with his job and what have you, so it didn't really work out for him. He's then been given a wee chance at Station Park. Great little club, you know it well, and a great result against Petrie's Montrose midweek. Fantastic result, 3-1. Didn't fancy them really, to be fair. But Big Weirzo in there, big character, lovely big guy. Hope to get a result against St Johnstone. But I think you're right, head of steam up for St Johnstone. They want to hit the ground running. This has been perfect for them, this Betfred, and going into a competitor situation, Premier League approaching, where they're the top of the league. They're winning all their games better than any pre-seasons. So if anything, they'll be the Premier League club who have taken probably more out of the Betfred, taking that into the Premier League proper when it starts. So I think St Johnstone will just be too strong. 2-1 tomorrow night, Tommy sack Sunday morning. There you go. On the one breath.
What do you think the result is going to be?
I told you 2-1.
2-1, right, sorry, I was too... that was your serious one, was it? All right.
You imagine I left up the mail Sunday morning.
Your number.
I'm going to go for St Johnstone 3-1. And the interesting thing is, St Johnstone, they've never really been in the Betfred last year, because every other team they've been in Europe, and they've always sort of been slow starters in the league. So maybe just this season or last season not making Europe, it might be advantageous to St Johnstone because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Best of luck to them.
Listen, guys, before we move on very quickly with another couple of fixtures from Group C, tweets come in from Stuart Cunningham, and he says, what are you making of Celtic cutting Rangers tickets to 800 tit for tat? Atmosphere will be dire, I'm thinking. 800,
is that what they've got it to?
Yeah.
Doesn't come as any surprise. I've said
Celtic are asking the SPFL to intervene and, if you like, mediate between the two clubs to get back to what they think is a sensible level.
I've walked up the stairs over the last couple of seasons with well-renowned journalists who have said to me, Shuggy, can you believe the manager hasn't cut down the allocation of the away fans at Celtic Park, at Ibrox, because the Celtic fans at Ibrox, Paul, are a goalie a start.
That's right,
unbelievable noise they make. On the back of the way things have been going on in the park, it gets even more noisy and boisterous off the park with them because they're having a party. So Rangers are doing what they're entitled to do.
And Celtic are now doing the same.
And it will make no difference because at Parkhead and being part of it in there, you're also rans in there as away fans. You're not heard, you're not seen, and you have no influence in the game.
Okay.
At Ibrox, it's a different level.
What's your thoughts, Paul?
Well, I'll take another twist. What is the rules and regulations for away fans? What's the percentage?
Well, there is no number, but what it says is a reasonable allocation, but there is no figure put on it. So what a reasonable allocation is, I guess you have to give a criteria that you've worked from, but there is no actual number.
It'll hurt Celtic more than it'll hurt Rangers at Ibrox, I can assure you that right now. If that end is full of bears, which it will be, you can sell 100,000 tickets for that game. The game at Parkhead will be insignificant for Rangers fans because it's always the same. It's the norm, Higgs. They're in that corner, you can't see them, you can't hear them, and it's the brave that go there. There is no doubt about it. I was in there at the New Year's Day game. There was 8,500. You felt as if you were, I don't know, you were, I no disrespect, at a junior game where you were, because it was like, you know, you didn't seem a lot of you. That's what I meant. There wasn't a big crowd in your area. Okay. Look round the stadium, there's millions of them, you know that way. But in that particular area at Parkhead, you're like, honestly, you're dots.
All right, Stuart, we hope you've got that now in terms of
Stuart Cunningham
what
from
the views
Lark Hall. That'll be Scott's brother. You know Scott that comes on the blind dog?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's Stuart.
Yeah. No, the dog can see it's Scott that can't see.
I know, but Scott will be laughing if you're saying that. He's good.
I know he is. I know. It's a good laugh, Scott.
Since he went blind 25 years ago, the only good thing about going blind was...
Well, Hugh and I spoke about this last season, and Hugh's not changed his tune. I think Celtic Rangers have got to make sure what's best for them.
Yeah.
You know, if it means getting 800 or 1,000 away supporters or less than that, that's up to them. But I think you've got to make it as awkward for the opposition as possible. And they're right. They're right to do it. Celtic and Rangers are right to do that. Cut the numbers and get their own fans behind the home team.
Well, OK, from Glasgow Rangers to Cove Rangers, because we've got to move on. Cove Rangers are at home to Raith Rovers tomorrow in Group C.
Yeah, OK.
Both of them, Raith Rovers have got 1
okay
point.
Got a knock in the head? Is he OK again? Mine stopped the game for him.
Yeah.
At Cove. Well, you were away, Bill.
Yeah, but I read about it.
Right, OK.
I kept up with things every day on my phone.
Yeah.
Raith Rovers 1 point, Cove got no points.
Yeah. Where are we? What group?
Group C.
Group C, Inverness topping it, yeah. Cove entertain Raith. They've not a great start either, Raith Rovers. Isn't a point down there with Barry Smith still at the helm. Cove Rangers struggling, you know, the anchored boys down there. So, you know, Raith Rovers have got to start winning games, haven't they? You know, they've got to take that, you know, winning in the Betfred into the league situation. So, decent little surface at Cove. That'll not be a problem for Raith Rovers going up there on a nice day. So, it's a hard one to call, you know. Cove, it's a wee leveler, isn't it? The fact that
good facilities,
they entertain them.
Good facilities at Cove.
So, yeah, I think maybe the Rovers just to sneak it for me, just to sneak it.
Paul.
The two teams are in a difficult section, really. They've got Hearts and Inverness guys, you know. You know, they're up against it. And the Raith Rovers gave a good account of themselves against Hearts at Starks Park not so long ago. But like everything else, you know, you would have tipped Cove and Raith Rovers to sort of be third and fourth in the league section. So, you know, I just feel that Raith Rovers have probably just got enough in their side to get through. And what Bill was saying, guys, about Cove Rangers, a lovely wee stadium. You know, they're gearing themselves up to try and get into the second division eventually. But I just think Raith Rovers have got enough. I know that, as you said, that Cove have got nothing to show for their games in the past, and what Raith Rovers have got 1 point. I just think, you know, again, Raith Rovers have just got enough, and I think Raith Rovers will win 2-1 against Cove Rangers.
Well, I can't see that.
Yeah, I just had to say there's a new bid for Kyle for 300,000. Obviously, the wee text to say whether if there's any interest in that or not. If anybody's listening, pretty sure there is.
I think you've got to double that before they're going to start talking seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to go Raith just to sneak it. Need to win, need a wee win, build up a wee head of steam, as I say, for the league, and a decent little surface at Cove. But Raith, I think, should got one full time as well. Raith, let's not forget that.
Yeah,
it's not full time. Should be doing a wee bit better, but on the back of the Hearts, couldn't be sitting there with 6 points. It is early in the season, but I'm sure Barry will get it right.
OK, let's go to Hearts against Inverness Cally Thistle on Sunday. Now, Hearts obviously have had this bizarre adjudication against them, a £10,000 fine, a 2-point docking for playing an eligible player who's been with the club through the youth system. It is the most bizarre thing that I think I've heard recently in football, especially the 2-point docking. What does that represent? There are no 2-point areas in football. You either get docked 3 points or 1 point.
Yeah, it's a bit strange, but whoever made the decision and didn't get it right, on the administrative side, then deserves a wee kick up the backside, because that's what they're paid to do, and put it right and get the players signed, sealed and delivered.
Club secretary.
Well, there you are, enough said with that one. So pretty sure that the gaffer, knowing him well, will be best not pleased, and Budge as well, being the chairwoman who puts the money in. And
that's a week's of wee Naismith's salary away.
There you are. It's money you could be doing without. 10 grand is a bit heavy, but the docking at 2 points is kind of strange. They'll look to beat Inverness. Hearts on paper will be strong enough that I don't know if they'll risk Big Lafferty. Again, that was it.
Well, it'll be interesting to see whether they play him.
Well, it did this morning talk about it resting him anyway, or maybe even prepared to gamble on him. I think he's got a wee slight knock, but Hearts are beginning to have a wee settled look about him. He's not brought one or two players, but one thing that Hearts do is, under Levine they'll always give 100%. Might not be the best, but under him being the manager and the way he is, he expects nothing less than giving your all, because he was a big fit guy himself, and I think he brings that into the touchline as the manager. So, but listen, me Robo suddenly shaping Inverness. It's amazing what a wee pre-season can do. Go in, galvanise it, shape it, get it better than what it was, and he's beginning to get his feet under the table again. Never an easy place to go and win Tynecastle, but Inverness could go and play with a wee spirit there and possibly nick it.
Higgs?
Well, just what you're saying about you can only get 3 points for a win or 1 point, and you come up with 2-point docking, you see yourself, I never even thought about that. It's a great shout, absolute great shout. And who's come up with that? You know what I mean?
Where does it come from? What kind of penalty is it against Hearts? 2 points.
I really don't know. I really don't know. But I go along with Hugh, likes with Craig Levine. Obviously he'll be raging inside, because these things shouldn't happen. It should be somebody else's job. But Craig and Anne Brudge, who are manager and the chairman of the club, carry the can, and it's sort of egg on their face, and it's a shame. It's embarrassing, and it should have been done and dusted by a long chalk. But I can't believe it's 2 points. Honestly, what you've said is a real valid factor. What I would say is it's a game that two teams are desperate to win, and wee Robo's done really well. He's got a few results under his belt, and he's very thorough in his preparation of games before and during the game, and it'll be a real test. He's been a manager at Hearts before. He was an excellent player with Hearts, so he's going back to his stomping ground. So he'll relish the situation. But again, I just think Hearts being the Premier side, got a big squad. Got a squad that should be shaping up to do pretty well in the Premiership, and going to Tynecastle and a place that will be really. I'm not saying it's a sellout, but it'll be near a sellout. It'll be exciting times for the two clubs. I just think I think Hearts will win, and I think they'll win comfortably 2-0.
Yeah, I would go with that. I think Hearts home advantage. Robert will love going back there, because he's obviously still well loved in the Hearts fans. Great little guy and fantastic goal scorer. And he'll always go back there with pride. But yeah, I think Hearts might just be slightly too good for them.
Okay, what about numbers?
I'll go 2-0.
Okay, 2-0. Group D, and we've got Dundee against Brechin. Brechin on 4 points, Dundee on 6 points, so really a fag paper between them.
Yeah, Dundee have kind of huffed and puffed as they always do. McCann will be wanting to get it right on the back of a good bet, Fred, and again take it into the Premier League proper. Chop and change his personnel a little bit. Takes a bit of time, find your feet. Big dodgy at Brechin, probably playing in a league that they should be in, and get 1 or 2 wee sitting there with 4 points. But you would expect Dundee at home to beat Brechin. That for me, it looks an absolute home banker. It's cup, it's finding shape and legs and what have you. Now they're into third, fourth games, fifth games, whatever, including some of the pre-seasons. But you know, it would be a strange one if we read tomorrow night that Brecon have went 1-in and took anything at Dens Park. For me, home win.
Higgs?
Yeah, I think that's right. You know, Brecon they got a thump in there during the week against Dunfermline, 7-1. So morale-wise, you know, it'll be difficult for Big Dodgy to pick up the players. And Hugh's right, you know, they're probably in the division at this moment in time, the second division, you know, because last year they found it, or I should say the first division, because last year they found it really difficult in the championship. Neil McCann done alright there, did well in midweek against Peterhead, going to Balmoor Park and win 2-0. Difficult place to go to the best of time, and I think like Jim McInally, he's still trying to find his feet with Peterhead in regards to try to get a winning formula back at Balmoor. But excellent result for Dundee and Neil McCann. I just think it might be a heavy defeat for Brecon tomorrow, especially after getting a thumping against Dunfermline in midweek at the Glebe Park. I think it'll be 4-0 Dundee, guys.
Oh, that's strange. I've just got 4-0 marked in as well, big man. There you go, 4-0. Oh, thanks for turning on the fan with 20 minutes to go on the show, and I'm sitting here.
No, it's been always been on. It's just been on me. I'm just giving you a wee bit of fresh air.
It's just hitting your earn. That's what it's covering, your earn.
No, don't be like that, because you know I'm on a new regime.
Keep it. He's on a health kick, Higgs. He's on a health kick. He's cut it down to 2 breakfasts in the morning.
I'm fed up of being the fat guy.
Yeah. What can he wait are you anyway, Bill? Do you want to
too heavy?
Well, that's too heavy.
Too heavy.
Well, you need to get down to
there's heavy. There's too heavy, and then there's walrus, and I've come down from walrus to too heavy.
Yeah,
so
I think the embarrassing thing in Portugal was being harpooned, Higgs. I think then.
That's shocking.
Do you think that was the embarrassing thing?
I'm pretty sure.
The embarrassing thing was I was lying in the beach, face down, builder's bum, and some wee kid came up and stuck a flag in me and said, "I claim this island for Portugal."
Well, how was the holiday?
It was lovely, thanks, Higgs. It was very nice.
All inclusive, Higgs. Can you believe it? Tell her still trying to get stock in.
That's shocking. Hugh, have a word with
I've got a booker out there working overtime just to shovel it in. It must be quite difficult. No disrespect. I know you like to talk about it, or sometimes you don't.
What?
What's it like getting on a flight when you're a big fat guy trying to get a seat and that? What's that like?
It's uncomfortable.
That's it. Does that make you realise, right, I need to get my finger at you?
Well, it depends, because although you're on the same type of plane a lot of the times, because there's different models of them, they have different seat widths and things like that.
Do you sit with the legroom and all that? You're in that area?
No, it depends. If I'm flying over 4 hours, then I always fly first class. If I'm flying 4 hours or less, I'll go economy class.
Wouldn't like to be sitting you long term in a flight anyway, that's for sure. Oh, did you get food on the flight?
Listen, let me tell you.
Was your in-flight entertainment?
No, I had no food on the flight. Let me tell you something. I'm a joy to staying in an aeroplane.
You just sleep?
Because, see, before the safety briefing's finished, all you can hear is my snoring.
No, I can't sleep in my flight.
And
I hate flying, Paul. I don't like flying, mate.
Well,
do you know?
Oh, no, big scaredy pants.
How many times?
You thinking you're macho and brave and tough,
no.
and you don't like it?
No.
How many times do you think I've flown?
Flown in general?
Yeah, just in my lifetime. How many times?
As in miles?
No, in terms of flights.
Have you got a number, Hugh, Bill?
I've got an exact number.
I'll say 75.
I'll say 300.
602 flights.
Jeez, oh.
602 flights?
Yeah, remember
have you been to the moon and back?
No, remember I was in Belfast for 5 years and flew out on a Monday, flew back on a Friday for 5 years, plus all the flights in between that weren't work flights.
And all those planes are all been grounded
602 flights. I used to fly a well-known airline that had orange and it was EasyJet,
right.
and the crew used to say to me every year, "Have you had your invitation to the staff Christmas party yet?"
No way. You know that desert over in Arizona where all the old clap-toot planes are? They're all lying there, 602 of them. They're all lying there. My last flight was Bill Young.
Listen, if you think aeroplanes are the only thing I've clapped out, you're well mistaken.
Tell me more, Bill.
Dunfermline against Stirling Albion, boys.
On the pars, yes. Flying under Alan Johnson and big Alexander Clark, scoring goals, 7 goals away from home up at the Hedge was a magnificent result, wasn't it, really? Entertained Stirling Albion tomorrow. Dave Mackay did a decent wee job there. Dave Mackay, he went in and kind of stayed.
I like Dave.
I think there's something about Dave Mackay. I think he'll be looking to maybe move on and gets it right at Stirling. I think there'll be clubs looking at him. He's a good player as well. I liked him the way he played at full back. But Dunfermline's just flying, 9 points. You would expect to home. I've got a score down in front of me. We'll wait and see what Higgs' thoughts are before I give my score.
Well, unlike you, I think Dunfermline win quite comfortably. I think Dave Mackay is a very good coach, and I think that likewise it's an important season. It's probably like a Jim Goodwin. He's got to have a good season again, because if he does, then hopefully he'll get a springboard to maybe a club in another league. But it is going to be a difficult game for Dave tomorrow against Dunfermline, and I'm going to go. I'll predict it 3-0 Dunfermline, Hugh.
Yeah, I've got 4 down again, Higgs. I think there'll be goals at East End, and they've had a good start, and you can see a lot of good work done through pre-season, taking that into the Betfred, ready for the Championship.
OK, before we get to what I think is going to be the fixture of the weekend in this trophy, let's look at Morton against Albion Rovers. Albion Rovers not got a point to their name. Morton with 3. I think I read, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lewis, but I think I read that Morton have had to postpone a game or something.
Yeah, but it's through to Cardiff's squad's been decimated.
They've got a squad. The Cardiff team are kind of kaput.
I'll read it. Green at Morton have cancelled Tuesday's Glamour friendly against Cardiff, who have been promoted to English Premier League after the Scottish Championship club squad was decimated. I apologise. I thought it was Cardiff.
It's Morton.
By early season injuries. So it's no good, and I don't think Raymond has signed.
I don't think he's got a huge squad at the minute.
Well, I think he'll be doing it at the Boozer, looking for players, come kick off of the Championship proper, because he hasn't brought in a lot of players.
We spoke to him.
Yeah, very strange. Strange one to take. Okay, player, there's a few friendlies on Sunday, but I'm sorry to see that. But,
so anyway, Morton Albion Rovers, what's your thoughts?
We know Brogy got the job there. We've probably not had a chance to speak about that on the back of the boy Kerr losing the job. Things maybe.
I've had John on.
Yeah, John's been given a chance with, I think, Colin Mitchell, his old companion at Stirling Albion. There was a wee bit of kerfuffle at the start with, has he got the right badges and what have you, but come on, John Brogan's got a wealthy experience. That should have been sorted. They've gave him the chance to get it right. It's how good Albion Rovers want to be in it. It's where they think they should be, where they're going to go. They brought John Brogan in, deserves a wee chance. I think latterly was it Bill Kilgour's Wishaw, didn't work out for him there in the juniors. I always think that some decent good junior managers can take that wee step into that particular area of the game. So but going to Morton under Raymond will be a hard shift. It's another game for him to have a look at his squad, who he's signed, who he can trust, who he's going to go with come the season proper. But again, wee bit of pressure on Raymond McKinnon at Morton to get off to a decent start. 3 points there, sitting in third, not going to do nothing. Air and Particle flown the nest there near the entertainment hour tomorrow. So I would think Raymond just building and trying to get it right, Paul.
Yeah, I think that'll be a great leveller tomorrow. What you're saying about if Morton have got the injuries that you said that they have, that could be a real leveller, and obviously John Brogan will be desperate to try and get off the mark on that one. Yeah. I just think, with Morton, you would like to think they've got enough quality to beat Albion Rovers, but it's a real test for Raymond, because obviously coming on the back of taking over for Jim Duffy, and there's like Jim Duffy and a few other managers that could reel and rhyme off, not got a job, and really tried and tested managers who've done really well in the recent past. So it'll be a tough gig, as Hugh would say, for Morton tomorrow, and obviously Raymond McKinnon, but I think they'll just shade it.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 Morton, Higgs.
Just because you said about the injury situation, I'm going to go 1-0 Morton. 1-0 Morton. Okay.
All right, for me, this is the tie of the weekend in terms of the Betfred, and that's Partick Thistle against Ayr, both of them on 9 points in Group E.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got to agree with you. And Ayr having such a great start again up there, and no surprise to see the boy Lauren Shanklin scoring a hat-trick midweek again, absolutely flying, loads of goals coming out of this kid. Ayr have got him on a decent contract, kept a hold of him, which is great to see as well. He's kept most of his team together, as Ian McCall. I don't think he's lost anybody after a great season last year, remained full-time. And a big credit goes to Lachlan Cameron, the overseas really owner of Ayr United, and his dad before it. Lovely man. And I think, going to, Partick will there'll be no fears there. Thistle will entertain it, both in the Championship. Thistle want to go back up. Ayr will want to fancy themselves to get up.
Both full time, of course.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, when you look at all the ties. I know Hamilton Airdrie's quite tasty as well, a wee bit of a derby, but generally I think you've picked the right one. Partick entertain Ayr. Could go anyway, Bill. They're up there, they've both got 9 points, so we want to win the game, obviously.
Spoke to Mark Kerr on the programme last night, and Mark was saying there's a great spirit in the dressing room at the minute at Somerset Park. Yeah, well, again, that's a good sign in Middley Park. We general in there getting things right, is the way to win football matches. But McCall, again, deserves massive pats in the back. Been out of the game a wee while, came back in nice and fresh, new ideas, getting it right, and getting them up and keeping them up. It's all about stability with United. Been too long yo-yo, but I think they've got 4, 5, 6 good kids there. The nucleus have been kept together. Thistle chopping and changing a wee bit, and the way Shanklin scoring goals and started the season the way it ended last year, I can see Ayr going and getting the result. Paul?
What I like about Ian McCall's team is that they try and play football, but they try and entertain and score goals, and that's what he's been doing in the recent games. And they won 5-0 the other night. Is that right?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, flying.
Yeah, so he wants to play football, but he wants to entertain the fans. And what you're saying about the boy Shanklin, he's on fire. It's a real test for United tomorrow, but it's a test that they'll gladly go to, and then obviously try and get a result against Partick Thistle. I think the good thing for United guys is that they've not had too many changes, and a lot of the players at the club have stayed at the club and realised that Ian McCall's a good manager. He sticks by his players. He works hard in regards to dealing with his players and making them happy. And see, when you've got a happy camp, you want to watch. I just think tomorrow, Alan Archibald, he'll be desperate to continue that trend. I know the two teams have got 9 points respectively, and he'll be wanting to cement Partick Thistle and make sure that they win that league. I think I'm like you, it'll be tough. I think it could go to penalties.
Okay. And who would win on penalties, do you think?
I think Partick Thistle will win on penalties just.
Yeah. What's your prediction?
I think Ayr can go and score goals. I think Shanklin right now, young boy Forrest
as well. It's a confidence thing as well, isn't it?
So, mate, I genuinely think that Ayr can go and beat Thistle tomorrow, and I'm going to go 2-1.
Okay, all right, guys. You mentioned this one ahead of the Thistle Ayr one, and it is a fairly tasty tie. It's a local derby. Hamilton against Airdrie. Airdrie have not had their sorrows to seek over the last couple of seasons, but they seem to be back on track. Good people involved with them. So let's see what you think about it, Hugh.
Well,
old club of yours?
Yeah, well, not Hamilton, Airdrie not. Probably one of the few I didn't play with. Your boy Stephen Finley's there. We don't really know much about Stephen Finley. I think it was
he can talk for Scotland.
Stephen Finley?
Aye.
Oh, right, okay. So him and Youngie certainly no a long haul flight between the middle
No,
of them.
definitely not.
Right, okay. Well, listen, he'll enjoy going to Hamilton. The Airdrie Hamilton was always a bit of feistiness between them when they were in the same league, and it'll be no different. Canning's not really started that great. Again, Group F, they're sitting down there in fourth.
He's quoted as saying he feels their fate may be sealed this season.
Oh, really? Well, again, it's not a great thing to come out with the manager saying that as early in the season. 2 or 3 games in and the writing's on the wall already. It's all about staying in the league with Hamilton. It's all about just, staying in the Premier League, being down at the bottom 6. Yeah, we know they're going to be there. Picking up the odd wee point here or there. Getting things kind of ready, through the Betfred. It looks as though they're just not ready. Disney lie, they've got 4 points. It's not a great start. Airdrie is sitting up there in 6. level with Annan, so they win tomorrow and they're there. So there's no reason why Airdrie can't go and get a result there tomorrow.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to go Airdrie 1-0.
Okay, Paul.
I'll just ask you: Has Martin Canning signed many players, guys, down there?
It's been a strange situation down at.
Aye, they have signed a few, but he doesn't know who they are.
Well, you're not far off the truth there in a lot of ways. But it's one of those where they shifted so many in the January window. I think there's been about 4 or 5 have come in. I'm not 100% sure, and there's been a couple more go out. But Hamilton's one of those clubs, Paul, where you never know who's on the books with them.
See, but they have got the nucleus senior players still there, like Emery and people like that, haven't they?
Messi might run out one Saturday in Big Canning.
Do you mean eating Messi?
I'm telling you, I think that's a strange situation at Hamilton. And
you never know who's in the books.
Martin Canning, he's been there that long that Ronnie McDonald and Les Gray, are very, very much to the fore on players coming and going. That's fine. That's just the way they go about their business. But see, when you look at it, the concept is decent because they stay in the Premier League and the odd young player comes through, hence the boy Liam Ferguson. It's Liam, isn't it? Aye, Fergie's boy, it's Liam, moving up to Aberdeen. So the odd wee drop and roast is coming through. So, what they do.
I don't think the model's as strong as it has been in previous years in terms of young players coming through. It's
got to dry. Things can say you can only go to the well so often. And it's true, because it isn't just going to come through every year, Bill. But see those years it's not coming through, if you're still staying in the Premier League, your luck's then got to turn the back end of that again.
The problem is that you get a situation where people come in the summer window and leave in the January window. And that's your problem.
But it's still a good place to go and play. I don't know what they've done with the surface. Have they replaced it?
They've got the new one. Well, but I don't know if it's ready yet, but they have replaced it.
I think it was only 4G that was rotted, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
You're really cynical.
I am right in there with the jugular. I didn't particularly like it. I walked onto it a couple of times and it just didn't look quality.
I did quite like it, I must admit.
It looked horrendous in the telly. Never played in it, obviously, but I walked onto it a couple of times I was there, and it looked burnt. It just did not look right, and I don't think.
Apparently, this new pitch, and I quote, is the best available at the moment.
Well, they can only spend what they've got to spend. I think, obviously, the fact that they stayed in the Premier League, Paul, gives them a wee bit in their budget to add to getting a bit of quality in. But Hamilton, Premier League, survival, the big word.
And is that going to be the same surface as Hearts at Tynecastle, Bill?
I don't know.
I really don't know.
I don't know.
There must be different grades, eh?
I'm sure they will. They only get what you pay for in any walk of life, and I'm pretty sure that that Hearts might have a wee bit more to spend.
I'm told
talking about Parkhead as well, having a different surface in amongst the grass as well. There's something.
But it's not a new thing. I mean, these hybrid mixes are not a new thing. Arsenal have had it.
Charlie Dimmock there.
Hybrid mixing. They're not. I mean, at the Emirates, they've had it since the Emirates opened up, and a number of other clubs have used them as well. You asked me a question. You asked me a question. I gave you the answer.
It's just a big fountain of knowledge, isn't
Listen, give me the result. I need to move on. I know.
The result. I'm going to go.
Like Bruce Forsyth here.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go. Hamilton 1, the Airdrie Section B 2. There you go.
What do you think, Paul?
I'm going to go 1-0 Hamilton, Bill.
All right. Livy against Berwick. Berwick are down there with zip. Livy up there, 8 points. Kenny Miller getting his house in order pre-season with the Betfred.
I heard, to be fair.
Has he? I don't know. The Betfred. So we were all a wee bit cynical and a wee bit sceptical about this. I'll be honest with you. I'll put my hand up in the air. I still am.
Yeah. Well, sure.
Because I don't think this is a test for Livy.
Well, how? Still got to win football matches.
I know. I just don't think it's
young manager coming in. i.e., you know what I mean, Stevie Gerrard giving a bit of time,
let's see when he's playing in a competitive mode in the league against teams that are as
good as... The Betfred's not competitive?
It's not the most competitive section he's got.
It's competitive, it's hard enough.
I'm not arguing with you, I'm just giving you my opinion.
Hamilton,
whether
Premier
you
League
take
team.
it or whether you don't take it, I don't care.
Well, I know you don't care, but I care what you think, and if you don't care...
obviously don't care
if
what
you don't
I
care,
think.
I care.
You don't care what I think.
Higgs doesn't care. So it's all about caring.
The devil may care.
Talking about that, there's your carer in.
Well, I've been in the air an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm saying to myself, Grace, this is peace and quiet.
Boys are getting on well. There's a bonding happening. There's a bonding. He was trying to kick on my feet earlier on under the table or something.
Be quick, because we've got a few more fixtures. We've got 4 more fixtures to do.
Kenny Miller scored 2-0, beat Berwick. By now, back down to Shield Park. There you go.
Great start for Kenny Miller. I must admit, the more results he gets under his belt, the more confident the team will get. I think it's done brilliant. I must admit, I agree with Hugh there, Bill, because, you know, I just feel winning games is the most important, and that's what Kenny Miller's done. I think they won 3-0 against Berwick.
Oh, go on, Big Higgs.
Okie dokie.
We know the game. You don't. Here, look, here it's coming.
I know more about the surfaces than you do, that's for sure.
Big Beach Grove Gardener. Big Jim and George, they were brilliant, weren't they? Big Bill, I can just imagine you coming down with the dungarees, that one.
I hate Gardner.
No, I can see you.
Absolutely.
Any Alex shirts. And
see one of these, see if you could garden, and I know, Higgs, you're a gardener and you love your garden.
Are you, Higgs?
No, I used to be
You're always pottering in a garden.
Aye. And the washing line's looking for stuff.
But listen, but you see, if you could plant something tonight and it was up fully grown tomorrow, I'd be quite happy. I'd be a gardener tomorrow.
There's wee tablets you can take for that.
You are so basic at times. You really are. Right, Clyde against Motherwell.
Clyde,
Danny Lennon brings Motherwell to Broadwood.
Well, I'll tell you what, Motherwell, shocking result last week against Stranraer. The amount of pals of mine burst the coop down there at Stair Park, then get back on it and winning way, beating Queenie's House during the week. Clyde, fantastic result. Good Willie, couple of goals. Don't think he'll be there long. Guarantee he'll be away before the window closes. He's better than Clyde, no disrespect to Danny, but he's still a good player, good Willie.
I think he owes them a debt of loyalty though, and I think he realises that.
I don't know, but I think you know, he's done it. He's done whatever he's done. He's had to move on. We all make mistakes in life and sometimes deserve wee chances.
I'm not being critical of the boy. I just think he's very loyal to Danny and Clyde for giving him the opportunity.
That's true. The biggest problem then I see with Clyde, that's all very well, guys, if he was staying with Clyde and he could see maybe a journey with Clyde where there's a bit of investment, they know they're going to maybe get through the leagues, then you might get a bit more loyalty for David Goodwillie. But David Goodwillie will want to go back full time again. He's still in his 20s.
Hello Danny, it's Bill Young here. Hugh Burns says you're going nowhere.
We're on the road. It could be. I don't know what's happening at Clyde, the investment, whether it's there, whether it's no, but David Willie, Goodwillie
you know what I'm trying to say,
right? You know what I'm trying to say, David Goodwillie is better than Clyde.
You're a Willie.
No, there's better words than that. Richard.
Okay, Dick. Higgs.
Okay, Bobby.
I'll just give you the result, okay? Clyde won. I can't follow that.
Cheers, Bobby.
What's your result?
I don't know. 4-1 to Clyde.
Edinburgh City against Stranraer.
Didn't know that Big Jeffrey was involved at Edinburgh City. Did you know that?
Yes, the director of football. He's sporting director. I spoke to him about it a couple of months ago.
There's always a job for Jeffries.
I thought you knew that. I thought I told you. I'd spoken to Jim
Billy Brown, head of recruitment, scouting all Europe or something like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, he'll have a sore backside in his bike scouting all over Europe.
Still on the bike, Billy, aye. He's a good lad, Billy. But no, listen, they're great. Jack and Factor, there always a wee job for them somewhere in the game, isn't there? But Edinburgh City, aye, listen, they're doing okay, aren't they? They're not exactly embarrassing themselves down there. I know they're sitting level with Stranraer, but
you were talking about Hamilton staying in the Premier League. For Edinburgh City, it's staying in the league.
100%. You know, it's league status, it's, you know, crowds, it's more money coming through the gates and building it year on year, keeping it right, keeping the finances right. You know, Jim Jeffries there, he'll not be hard to deal with. Jim will not be taking fortunes out of that club. Not to be taken,
to be honest with you.
You know, but again, a bit of stability at boardroom level, and Billy, obviously, you know, doing whatever he's doing. So on his bike. So aye, good, great to see.
Give me a score.
I'm going to go Edinburgh 1, Stranraer 2.
Hegs, what's your thoughts on this one?
2-0 Stranraer against Edinburgh City. I just feel what you had said there, Bill, about, you know, Edinburgh City staying in and having the, you know, SPL status in the second division. That is their criteria. If they can build on it and try and eventually get in the next league, which I doubt, that'd be their aim. But you know, I think to stay in the league is excellent. I get my teeth in. It's excellent. I think it's like Hamilton as well. You know, them staying in the Premier League. I think that's fantastic to do what they're doing with the resources they've got, along with, like say, Martin Cannon, and getting players to play for Hamilton, and obviously, as Hugh says, sell them on eventually for a decent profit. Yeah. And I think, like say, Edinburgh City coming to that category in that division, and I think they've done ever so well. But I'm going to go for Stranraer 2, Edinburgh City 0.
Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll finish off.
Love music, live sport. Talking football with Bill Young, Hugh Burns and Paul Hegarty on RockSport Radio.
Okay, final 5 minutes of the programme. We've got two to look at. Kelly against Queen's Park. We'll start with you on this one,
I don't think Queen's done themselves any harm midweek. Gus says they were magnificent. Lost to St Mirren in penalty kicks and seems to be getting it right. Another, you know, that's great that they stand by Gus, because he's dealing with amateur players, he's bringing in the kids, he's going to juniors, he's watching who's been freed, reinstate them. Again, great place to go and play. You know, if even an experienced player want to go and finish their career playing at Hampden every week, absolutely brilliant. The incentive is there, still an amateur status, and he says it gets great backing for the club. So they've had a good little start, sitting there with 4 points, and they go to Kelly. Gus goes back there, reading this morning, loves it when he goes back there. He did brilliant, played with Gus at Kelly, great lad, comes on, not just saying that because he comes on, but he is a genuine one of football's nice guys, is Gus McPherson. And again, I think a guy that could be boxing at a higher level.
Yeah.
So again, it's somebody that'll probably look to maybe move on. I think they'll go to Kelly. Kelly are sitting up there with 7 points. Slowly but surely, we head of steam. You would fancy Kelly at home being a bit strong for them, aye.
Okay, how much?
2-0 Kelly.
Yeah.
Paul?
Yeah, I think Hugh's right. I think he's very knowledgeable. I think he's a very good manager, and I think he could easily manage a big club,
yes,
whether it's in the Premiership or even in the Championship.
You see him have done it at St Mirren, Higgs. He was unlucky, especially, you know, you go back to League Cup final, you know, Rangers were down to 4 men and they still won the game. You know, that way that game will haunt Gus because the game was there to be won. They were winning the game and they lost the game, and I think, again, you know, right place, wrong time at St Mirren as a manager there. But I think more to offer, and I think Queens have gave him that wee platform to kick on again.
Paul, what do you think the score will be?
And I think it'll be 3-0 Kilmarnock.
Okay.
Let's build him up and kick him in the goalies.
It's what they call a bumsism.
Kick him in the goalies when he's down. No bother.
He's a lovely guy, but he's still getting a knee in the nuts.
Take that one.
St Mirren against Dumbarton to round things off.
Well, Higgs.
Go. You just don't know what St Mirren are going to do next, eh?
No.
Because they're so unpredictable.
Go to penalties.
I know. I just think it's a real test for Alan Stubbs. It's a fairly local fixture, eh? Because Dumbarton are just a few miles up the road or down the road or whatever case may be. So it'll be a tough test for St Mirren and Alan Stubbs. I just think it's quite a tough section as well, with like say Kilmarnock, St Mirren and Dumbarton. I just feel again St Mirren have probably just got enough, but I think it will just be enough, and I think it will be on penalties, and I think St Mirren will win eventually on penalties.
Great incentive for Dumbarton going 1 and finish second. You know, they got there, they're sitting in 6-5, a point behind.
Done well.
You know, Queen's Park, I know they're going to win, get them into 7 points. You know, it's kind of the way the section is very, very tight. Spartans propping it up, no doubt. But yeah, Stevie Aitken, Durante, you know, bringing 1 or 2 players in. I believe they've had a decent start. They were doing well last week to Boyd. He appeared in the scene with his hat-trick second half. Unbelievable. But I don't think they'll go and fear St Mirren. You know, St Mirren ship-sicked against Sunderland last weekend on the friendly, and then midweek only scraped by against Queens and Pens at Hampden.
That's right.
Listen, I'm going to stick my neck out. I'm going to go for Dumbarton, a wee sneaky Murdo McLeod's Dumbarton to get a wee 1-0.
Okay.
So when you mentioned Dumbarton, his wee cheesy face just becomes even a bigger cheesy face.
Well, I hear you were both at it again on Monday.
Yeah, well, you know, we like a wee pop at one another. Yes, okay, that's fine. We like a go, and the season's not even started.
All right. Yeah. Well, listen, that's what I was going to say, guys. Very quickly, I'm excited about the season, and it starts proper for us next weekend, of course, with the Championship. So I'm looking forward to working both again this season. Thank you for your time tonight. Enjoy your weekends, and we'll speak again next Friday. I'll speak with you again on Monday, obviously.
Yeah, and just quickly, Pocahontas is northbound.
Okay, very good. That's it. Thank you.
Love music, live sport. Talking football with Bill Young, Hugh Burns and Paul Hegarty on RockSport Radio.